chapter 11 kind of hits home a little bit for me because me, I like having everything kind of set. When my life's going good, I kind of don't like change. It brings me a lot back to my senior year of high school when we were going through psychology. I mean, humans by nature resist change. We are very meticulous people in that we like organization. So one of the things that can kind of affect that is the pace of change. So you hear your parents a lot about it. They don't know how to work their smartphones. Things have gotten so crazy. Like for my great grandfather, who was born in the 30s and 40s, seeing all the technology. I mean, he got to go from when people, like not everybody owned an automobile, to the people landing on the moon, to now he carries a computer that's 30 times smarter than computers that used to take up 3 or 4 rooms. It's nuts. But people like that generally resist change. They just see it as scary and threatening to the traditional way of life. And because of that, a lot of people, especially in my generation, and I'm guilty of this too, we like instant gratification. People like to be rewarded for their work, and people tend to not want to go through the process of getting rewarded, rather just want it right away. So that's something that I think as a society in whole has kind of ruined a lot of things. We also have this thing called busyness syndrome, which as a college kid, I can totally get. You always feel the need to be busy. You always have to be doing something. It's hard to sometimes calm yourself down. But the next thing we have here is social attitudes towards changing technology. So that's kind of what I talked with the pace of change. Attitudes and values. The older community doesn't necessarily like all the technology, and I could definitely see where they're coming from. It's revolutionized life. I mean, dating is no longer like it was. A lot of people, soft skills are worse now. People are glued to their phones. It's crazy. It's changed the response mode. So quality of life, I would say, has gone up and gone down. I mean, if you look at the suicide rates now compared to what they used to be, I mean, sometimes not knowing stuff is better than knowing stuff. And we know everything now. You have everything at your fingertips. And technology is also bad because people are so easily swayed and generally jump to conclusions instead of using facts to form educated opinions now. I think most people's response now is immediate, kind of like the instant gratification. Everybody has to have something now. And so they find something they think resonates with them, they jump on it. They don't do the research in order to see like what actually it means. So with that being said, the next step is the tech traps, tech and scientific literacy. This is exactly what I was just talking about. It's educated opinions. People need to get all the facts straight before they start forming opinions, so that way, if they do decide to go out and speak about it, they don't sound like idiots. That's something that I've always been kind of infatuated with, is like when I find something, I want to do as much research on it. Like if I'm about to buy something, I go and I research everything, including similar products, so that I can make an educated purchase. The next thing is dependency on tech. I mean, I am guilty of it. I'm glued to my phone. I mean, everybody, if technology left tomorrow, how many people would just not be able to live? People are glued to social media, glued to TikTok, glued to YouTube. I mean, the information's at your fingertips. How many people could do basic math without having a calculator in their pocket? That's something that I had a really old elderly lady who taught me math in junior high. She was probably in her mid-70s. And she always said that she used to tell people that they would never have a calculator in their pocket. That's why she was so hard. And that's why she continued to be hard, is because she's like, what happens if your phone's dead? What happens if suddenly we don't have that anymore? That's where dependency on tech is going to ruin our society. And just, it's crazy because people my age now are so commended on their social skills because it's rare. It's becoming more and more rare for people my age to actually have social skills, which I'm sure blows my parents' minds. It blows their grandparents' minds. And truly, it blows my mind too, because it's not how I was raised. But Next, we have living with tech, which is the trade-offs related to that, which is exactly what I've been talking about here. So the risk benefits, I mean, the benefits are we have the world at our fingertips. I mean, if you're feeling sick, you can look up your symptoms. You can get an educated answer based on what you feel. I mean, if you're doing research, it's at your fingertips. You don't have to go put time into the library anymore. It goes back to the instant gratification thing too. Like, we get instant gratification because of that, but now that we get instant gratification, we want everything right now, and that's just not how the world works. But people think it should work that way. It's kind of like wanting to make $15 the minimum wage when you're not skilled. People want it, even though they don't deserve it. And tech accordance, I mean, is the technology appropriate? I mean, is it appropriate in today's society? I think if you don't have the appropriate technology in today's society, you're behind. You can't keep up with the modern world. So it's just, chapter 11 is full of controversy, and when you read it and you go through all the things, it really makes you it opens your eyes, especially somebody my age who kind of, like, when I was growing up, my parents didn't have a smartphone. Like, I remember when I saw my first smartphone or saw like an iPod or something, it was crazy. It was nuts. It's like everything that I dreamed of in my imagination, like playing outside, I could do at my fingertips now. And I mean, it infatuated me. But I don't know. Chapter 11 is super interesting. I really enjoyed reading the discussion board this week too and seeing everybody's opinions on it, because there's a lot of really interesting stuff and people have a lot of cool opinions. And the videos too had some interesting stuff. I mean, it's crazy how much society has changed, and it's kind of scary on where it's heading, to be honest. But what can we do? You just ride the roller coaster of life, you know? But that's about it, because I watched the shitty Chiefs game earlier, and I don't really want to talk anymore. But yeah, I'm going to sign off, and thank you very much.